20 episodes in.
20 episodes, oh my god, that's crazy. Welcome to the WakeUp Show. I'm Wolf Thunderfleet, and by the looks of it, you are not, but you are awake. I like that. I bought a car the other day, yeah. It was a pointless exercise. Didn't feel anything. Except the wind in my hair when driving and sticking it out the window like a dog. Yeah, things. This is a good week. Last week was a horrible week, right? Then I gave up everything. Yes, sold my entire career into a bowl of toilet paper. I'm sorry, but I'm back, stronger than ever, powered by the moon. And we have audience here today. Let's see. How does audience work in a studio? Audience, can you make some noise? Holy shit. Wasn't prepared for that. That's crazy. I feel energized. I feel full of joy and laughter, and I am the meat puppet. Got no strings to hold me down. Run the intro out of town. Boom.
Live from the dream, aka Drummond, it's the Wake Up Show with your host, Wolf Thunderfleet.
Yeah, welcome to the show, and welcome to this dream episode of mine where I have a wonderful guest, I have studio audience, I have Markus here, and I have myself, and I am Wolf Thunderfleet, none other, the one and only. And I've done 40 episodes now. This should get like an award for that. Well, you could be my award because you can go to patreon.com/thewakeupshow and support the show and help make my dream become a reality, which is absurd because it's already real, because I'm doing it. But you know, I'm not going to have a basement if I can't pay the mortgage. And I can't pay the mortgage if you're not becoming a Patreon. Oh my God, it's a pretty tough deal over there. And if you don't want to be a Patreon, you can support the most dreamiest dream of all places, which is Criollo, which is a chocolate bar in the dream. And you know, I like to start off every episode with a nice warm cup of delicious Criollo cacao. Now, it's different. This episode is my daughter designed a coffee mug with I believe she called it like a honey bear. Yeah, it's pretty nice. She's an artist. It's not paying our bills, but it's beautiful. And if you, for some strange reason, are not in the dream, so you can go to Criollo and get your vegan, organic, non-refined sugar, delicious piece of beverage. Then there's Eco Chocolate, where you can order it and make it at home, wherever you are in the world. I don't know if this do worldwide, but it's delicious. This hair is killing me, but I'm not going to cut it until I don't know when. I have such a great episode for you guys here this evening because I have a great guest. He's a reoccurring character. I'd have him here every episode if I could. Because he's such a great guy. And he's one of the reasons I moved to the dream, I believe even. He helped me move into the actual dream. His name is Kristoffer. And I think this is the perfect time to actually welcome him into the studio so he can speak for himself, not just me buttering up his bread. Kristoffer, would you like to come into the studio? And studio audience, would you like to give him a warm welcome, everyone?
Thank you! Thank you, guys and girls! I love you all! What a joy to see people I don't know cheer for me!
Right.
I haven't seen that in like. I haven't rarely seen that any time in my life, but especially the last year.
There's a first for
Just in
everything.
you.
I see you have beer. I'll also
Yeah.
give you some Creole cacao.
I know, because he's always serving me the Creole cacao. I love it. Keep on sponsoring Ulf, guys. But I brought my own, like,
Here you go, sir.
you give it to me anyway.
Check this out. I have some for my audience as well. That's pretty neat.
It's like very Christmassy. I get that cozy feeling.
Oh yeah.
But that's because I'm drinking cold beer and warm coffee, and I'm used to do that around Christmas time.
Isn't Ass like a local brewery?
Yeah.
Wow,
And Americans love it because it's like, are you serious? Is it called Ass? Yes.
Why are they not
it's
sponsoring this
ass.
show? I don't
They should.
understand. They should.
I don't think it's allowed with to go with commercials for a brewery that brews beer in Norway.
I'll
So
give
they're
this-
not allowed to. But I bought it myself, so I can like say I love ass. That's a good
You're an
commercial.
ass-loving man.
I'm an ass man.
I'm pretty sure Ass is
That's
gonna
a
be
very good
intrigued by that.
commercial.
We're gonna like just give the audience some. They're all pumped up. Like, wow.
Yeah,
Never tried this before.
they haven't experienced anything in a year. So you can do
nothing
anything
yet.
today and they're like, wow, it's amazing.
Kristoffer, so great to have you back on the show.
Thank you for inviting me. Are you inviting me because it's going good with the show or bad? I've been wondering about. Or do you like, is it a good sign that I'm often here? Because I choose to choose the thought that it's a good sign.
It's a great omen. Now, ideally, I'd invite you over to like my penthouse apartment in the tri-state area overlooking the Golden Gate
Wow.
Bridge. Be patient, my friend. Everything, at the right time, and now the right thing is to be here. I just became father of 4, and it seemed sort of
Congratulations,
Thanks,
man.
man.
That's a big cheer. Congratulations. The father of 4? You
Father of
crazy
4.
guy. Wow. How is it?
It's great, man.
It is?
You'd think by the 4th one that it becomes somewhat like routine or something. It's just even more magical.
Yeah, because it's like...
Because you're not as stressed the fuck out by being the first time around you're like, oh shit, what's this?
what
What
to
am I
do?
doing? What am I doing? And then the second time you're like, okay, I didn't get the hang of this. And the third time you're like, oh yeah, oh look, you can actually enjoy this. And then the 4th time you're
You're a
like,
pro.
you're a pro.
Yeah. But when we are in San Francisco in like the future,
Yes.
then we're sitting in your penthouse and we're like starting to, you remember the time we were
good
sitting
old
in
days.
your basement, your trashy basement in Drammen, what a crappy life. And then we will start to like be sentimental about this. But because this is the real version of the show. When you are getting famous, you are going to have famous friends, live in the penthouse, drive a Porsche, and be as the other rich bastards. But this is exclusive. It's just us, just now.
Seems
And
pointless now to go there.
this is the best thing about
this
the
is as
whole
good as
show.
it gets,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is the best. This is like the time everyone will say in the future that I was there, but they weren't. I was there.
Pioneers.
Yeah, pioneers.
Ah, that's fucking great, man. Thank you.
What's happening today, Ulf?
Well, today it turns out that we are humans. Yeah?
Yes.
And I was like, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
But what is the greatest thing about being a human? And Kristoffer, when I wonder about something, what I like to do is I go out into the dream and I ask my fellow dreamers about the greatness of humanity. No, being a human, not humanity, being a human. What is the best part about being a human?
Being alive, experience nature and living.
Being able to connect and interact with other human That's what I like most about being a human.
Well, that's a very good question, because it's about everything that you experience in life, that's what makes you a human. And I believe that there is no the best experience in being a human, because everything have a story behind it.
That's such a great answer. How about you? What's the best thing about being a human?
I don't know. It's nice just to be a human. I don't know.
Yeah. What is it like the least about
All this war, because again this interaction resulted of all this like humanity tragedy, you know. We just like kill each other if we're not agreeing on something.
To pay bills, I think. Always pay the bills.
those pesky bills?
I mean, for women, it's the period and giving birth and that stuff. But about the men, I don't know.
How about you? What's the worst thing about being a human?
The day after a hangover.
Oh yes, you've been out partying and then you say, oh yeah.
Yeah, like why did I do that? Like today.
Like today.
Like today. I love the last one there. She was
right?
like without filters.
She was really honest about the thing. All of them were. You know, that's the beauty with dreamers, is that they sort of put it all out there. But it begs the question, you know, Kristoffer.
Yeah.
What's so great about being a human?
The best thing is a lot of things. One of them is like to be on the top of the whole chain of animals in the
food
world.
chain?
Yeah, being on top. That gives you the exclusive pleasure of like laying back, discussing what is the best being here.
You don't think lions at the savannah are like, what's the best thing about being a lion?
They might. They're capable to do that, I think, because they're very clever. Yeah. But I think the best thing of being a human being is that you can be a lot of things. Human beings can like live all around the globe. The lions need like the savannah to be in their reservoir.
With the exception of Zeus,
yeah,
which turns out is a bit of a bummer if you're a lion.
It's very, it's not. Yeah, we could try that with humans. We have tried it with humans as well.
I think we've tried it for a year now.
Yeah,
because you have to sit at home, you know, and it's like nothing going on, and maybe you can look out the window, but there's not really that much stuff. You can't go anywhere.
You know, in 1918, we had like a big world exhibition in in Norway. Ooh. And they flew in a lot of African people from a village in Africa.
Oh, the Congolian village.
The Congolian village,
yes,
and had it in the Oslo Centrum, and people could like take a Sunday stroll and walk around to see. That's those exotic, Congo people were sitting there trying to mind their own business. So we tried like to.
We've tried those aspects as well.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing. But being a human being, you could like do whatever you want, live wherever you want, if you live in a free world as we do. You can, for example, make your own talk show from your basement. No one stops you in doing.
No.
Except yourself, but no one stops you.
Yes, but he's a tricky bastard, you know.
Yeah, it is. And that's the worst being a human being is two things. It's the world, yourself, and the fact that you're going to die.
We're going to die.
Yeah, that's the three things I like. That's turning the whole shit a bit down. You know, your inner self that tells you that things sucks, even if they don't. And the world that sucks, parts of the world. And the fact that it's ending a day. Even if you want to do it or if you don't want to do it, it's going to happen.
It's going to end,
yeah.
Regardless of what you
do in
this life.
My mother's advice is that you can choose what to wear every day.
Yeah.
You can choose kind of what food you eat.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can choose what television programs you're watching, or if you want to play guitar or something when you have spare time. But you cannot choose where you're born, You can't choose your girlfriend because you will meet her accidentally or not, or boyfriend. You can't choose if you're healthy or not to a certain point.
Yeah.
You can't choose when you're dying. So you can actually take your own life, but if you don't do that, it's not up to you alone. So it's a lot of big things in your life that is not up to you.
It's completely out of your control.
Yeah, so you just have to like be a part, enjoy the ride.
You know, this and this has come up a lot lately, is the roller coaster parable of life.
What is that?
Well, here's the thing. It seems like we humans want or think that we want the merry-go-round.
Yeah.
You know, the merry-go-round is predictable and it's fun and it just goes in circle.
Yeah. Is it one circle?
So it's just one circle, and then you know you come around the bend and you know what's waiting, and it's great, and the music is like got like the bells, and it's so cozy.
Yeah, it's predictable.
It's predictable. And you'll get bored to death a lot sooner than you think. What we really want is the roller coaster, and not just any roller coaster, like the motherfucker of all roller coaster. You know, the one where it's like you're going up and you're like, oh, this is gonna be great, this is gonna be fun, right? And you're looking at your friends and you're like, woo-hoo! And then you come out on top and you're like, look at the view of this thing, it's so great, this is magical. But here's the thing, then it goes downward, right? And it goes downwards, it's so steep that it's almost a free fall.
Yeah.
And you're starting to fear for your life. You see, like, the life flashes in front of you, you're dying, literally, in your seat, and you're screaming and terror and horror, and you're like, let me off this thing.
You want all that?
Why on earth did I sign on for this? I just wanted the fun stuff, I didn't want the horrible stuff. And then it sort of flats out, and then it makes like a corkscrew thing, and like a loop. And by the end of it, you're like, I want more of this. Because that's where the life is, right? The merry-go-round gives you nothing. It just gives you the same thing over and over again. But what you really want out of your life is challenges, obstacles that seem so hard that you almost insurmountable. And then you come out the other end, or not, sometimes. But it's sort of like, that's point being that like what we really want and need is the roller coaster. And fooling ourselves to think otherwise, like the illusion of retirement is sort of like, well, the retirement is like the merry-go-round, right? You just sit there and drink pina coladas and enjoy the sunset. That's not life.
I can follow you to a certain point, and that's because I hate roller coasters. I'm afraid all the way. But,
you know, I'm petrified, and you know the reason why. I am a tall guy. Look at me.
Yeah,
I'm so tall that in this room I have to like tilt over a bit because I'm really tall. And once I was at a roller coaster, and was a sign that says, "Don't hold your hands up like this."
Yeah.
And then I don't know, I can't recall where, but it was like, don't do this. And then I was looking at the other people in the roller coaster and realized that when they hold their hands like this, that's my head's height.
Yeah.
And I was like, what happens? I was like,
you are already.
I am already at the side.
At
that point, I am sitting in the roller coaster like this, and the fear of decapitation was so strong, and I was like, that's like the most embarrassing way to die, you know. What happened to a wolf? Oh, he got decapitated on a roller coaster because he's so freakishly tall. And like, didn't lose an arm, he lost his head. And I still do. You will see me at any like roller coaster ride. I'll always be like, well, it seems safer if my head is not sticking out too much.
But.
My wife loves them though.
But how is it to be a tall human being? Is it any pros and cons?
Well, there are pros and cons, you know. I used to hate being a tall human being.
Yeah. That's very common. That tall people like they don't want to be tall.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, but why?
But do not tall people want to be tall?
I don't know.
You're just a normal human.
Yeah, I
don't
consider it because it's not an option.
Just a normal build with like a normal.
Yeah, I was very, very little or short or horizontally challenged when I was like up to 14 years old. I was so.
Then you took like a leap. Oh,
they sent me to a doctor to like find out, is he going to gain any?
Is it going to be a little person?
Yeah. Are you a horizontally challenged guy, or is he going to be taller? And then I had like a dream about just being normal. So I had to be that tiny little guy. And the most embarrassing episode was that the whole class I was going to in Krokstadelva, my hometown, we're going to this fun theme park in Norway. And we could do a lot of crazy stuff there, roller coasters and everything. But every single item had like a wood block.
No.
And you had to like stand up to the wood block. It was red, and if your head didn't touch the block, you're too short. Then you had to go what did you call it? The
kiddie one, the merry-go-round.
Merry-go-round.
So you were just doing the merry-go-round?
Yeah, I was the only one that could. I was sitting in the merry-go-round the whole day. Yeah, of course. And all the other, and I tried to like cheat myself into the queue, but they had another wood block when you had to enter the devices you were put into to have fun. So at that time, I hope I could be normal one day. So like. Dreaming of being tall for me is like expecting too much, you know.
Oh yeah,
I've just completed my dreams of tall is like out of the picture. Yeah, out of the picture. But have you dreamt of I want to be normal or little or?
You know, growing up, I was taller than everyone. You know, in junior high,
wow,
I was tallest at the school.
Is it true? So you were a tall guy all the way?
I've been at this height since. I was 14.
How is the
my confirmation
junior high
still
picture?
Fits.
How was the junior high picture? Were you standing?
I'm standing and I'm taller than the teacher.
Yeah, and I remember at that time they were always placing the tallest guys back, so that the short people like me could be visible.
Small people.
But were you standing besides the teacher?
Taller than the teacher.
Yeah.
No, it was, and also
that's
the fun thing is like, you know, when you start becoming like, oh, I'm a tall person. I want to be a tall person, and then you're like in every picture, you're just sticking out, and you know,
did you crumble or trying to?
Maybe a bit.
Yeah.
But I think it took me a while, and then I sort of embraced. You know, this is the meat puppet I came in.
Yeah, that's
this is my vessel.
Yeah,
and from what I can tell, I have no say in the shape, size, and form of it, except if I overeat or stop eating or exercise. But the height is somewhat sort of written in the stars, I guess.
You are seeing a complete different world than I see. And I see a complete different world than a mice probably see.
Probably, yes.
So when I was fixing my house, I'm always fixing my house, painting and stuff.
We both are, you know.
I had some devices on my feet that made me taller. So I can walk around and
you had those,
fetch the ceiling and stuff.
Wow.
And I was like, this is how it is to be Ulf. And I saw my house in a complete different angle. And then I took a walk out in my backyard and out in the streets, and I was like, wow, it's completely different because you're seeing everything from
a different vantage point.
Yeah. So when we're discussing good and bad things being a human being, it's from two complete different perspectives visually.
Yes.
Do you think everything is like small when you're so tall? Do you think like, oh my God, why is everything so small?
Well, I ask the question occasionally, why do they design some objects, for instance, buses, trains, and planes, and cars?
Yeah. Your new car, is it small, in your opinion?
No, but that's the thing. They don't design anything other than the size for normal. So, you know, I always never fit.
Yeah.
But then I would never know what actually fitting into a seat would feel like.
We should really try that once when this show is getting bigger. We should build a room. Build a room like when we have adjusted everything to your scale. So you could like experience my world for a day.
A day of Kristoffer will
yeah,
just
well,
enlarge
normal
the
things
like
for
slightly.
you. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
When I'm at home at my parents' house, I haven't been there so often. So I always, when I go to the bathroom, everything is like very tiny. Because I remember it from my childhood.
When you were a kid.
When the sink was like up here and the piles were big and
was massive.
everything was like up there. And now I'm like this giant walking around in my childhood dream. And I'm like, wow, it's so small, everything. And it's like scale have a lot to say for your self-conscience.
It does. I guess like the feeling of fitting in at least.
Absolutely.
But I think we should build to the scale where you feel like me. So everything is like a bit too small.
That's easier because I can just take on my devices. I was working with Lego. You know the
building blocks.
Yeah, you have one there. The Jesus is on the shelf there. The Lego. That's the Lego man.
He is built out of Legos. This is true.
They have a theme park in Denmark.
Be careful, it's like a religious thing.
Okay.
Don't want to offend people. God. That cost us a lot of viewers, man. And I'm building up sort of like
taking it out of the camera.
I went to church occasionally. I'm trying to
again.
to seem like a serious enterprise over here.
Yeah, but it's like a roller coaster, isn't it?
It is.
Like he don't want to like hang
How do
there.
I get out of this
He
one?
wants to be in the roller coaster as well. Jesus to take the roller coaster. This is a kind of ancient roller coaster.
That's the ultimate roller coaster, actually. So we'll pin you up on this wooden cross. Yes, sign up for that one. That's
and you get the feeling I'm going to die.
And you get that feeling for a long time.
Well, I was working in the Lego park in Denmark. They have a theme park there. And I was a Lego pirate. And every human being that works for Lego, at that time, they had to have 2 weeks in the theme park to get to know the product, the factory, the mission of Lego.
We're a proper Lego
they're very
representative.
It's a family concern. And they hate banks because in the 1950s, the banks didn't want to loan money so they could start up Lego. And then the grandfather Lego master himself said that we are never going to have one single loan. So everything Lego does is paid up front. And they're very religious about their product.
Cautious, wow.
So I was there for 2 weeks. And then they showed me the decision room. When they're making big decisions in Lego, like we're opening a new theme park, or we're going to go for the Ninjago model or the Star Wars series, all the leaders in Lego have to dress down, take off their suits, and take on children's clothing that's
for size.
For size.
Because something else would be sort of creepy.
They go naked around. No, but they're putting on children's clothing that's are suited especially for them. And then they go through a hole in the wall, and there is a giant living room, and it's scaled for adults
to see my children.
To see how ordinary living room is. Working through the eyes of a child, like 6 years old.
I don't know. This is the theme park I would go to, you know.
Yeah, but that's a room ordinary people can't go in. It's just the business.
It's just for the. It's just for the higher ups.
And then they're in there in their children toys, and in that living room they have scaled up Lego pieces. So if and have it on the floor.
So when you have the 2x4, it's
like this.
Because you're a kid.
And it's furniture, it's kitchen, it's living room things. That's it's scaled up. Giant plants. And it's another room. That's the bathroom. And that's a giant toilet and a sink. Is big. Everything is like very.
So you can take a crap in a.
Yeah, and then you have to like sit. You have to like
be careful.
Be careful when you're sitting on the toilet. So you like they have taken away all the status symbols out
that
of the adults that are going to make decisions, and then they have to sit in a circle and build these Lego things while discussing. Is it a clever idea to go for that one or this one? Should we close the park, open another park? While they're in this situation. And the reason of that they're doing this is that we're acting in a complete other way when we're put in that situation, and we're making other kinds of decisions when we're in that state of mind and in a board meeting. So I was like very stunned by that's
very clever.
Very clever.
Because they're making a children's toy.
And they're making it for children. So
you want to get into the mode
of the user, of those who are going to use this product in the end of the day.
Yes, which are 40 plus males stockpiling it.
That really want to dress up a child being in that room.
It's very interesting.
Making Jesus on a pile, trying to.
It's a cross. It's a cross.
A cross. I saw just 2 piles, but it's a cross.
That's what the Jesus people will say.
Yeah, I'm.
Are you a believer of the Jesus thing? We never talked about this.
When I almost lost my life a couple of 3-4 times, and it's
3 or 4.
Yeah, it's my own fault every time.
At your own hand, okay.
I bought an old ambulance, a wheelkill.
Yes.
Yeah, almost the same model that the Ghostbusters used.
Get to the death part.
Driving it over the mountains in Norway the 3rd day without sleep because I had too much work to be
sounds like a
to
great
be done.
idea.
Yeah, and I had to I had a job at a shopping mall in Gjøvik in Norway. It's far up. We were going to present the new shampoo from L'Oreal in Norway.
Sounds important.
Yeah, we had hired some naked girls to make a shower with it in the shopping mall, so it's like packed with people. This is in the late 90s, and then I remember that I was saying I'm a bit tired. I'm not tired. I'm a bit tired. I'm not tired. With the music very high in the ambulance in the middle of the night, and suddenly I just wake up, and I was like, oh god damn, I'm sleeping. And the next thought is, fuck, I'm driving a car. And then it was like, so I had been driving off the road and into the hills.
Oh, you were off-roading with your ambulance?
Yeah, in the snow. And then it stopped. And, when you experience that kind of situation, then your first thought is, God, if you're there, I need serious help right now. That's always the first.
That makes
thought.
Perfect sense, right?
If you exist,
please let
this would be a good
This is the perfect time to help out.
Reveal yourself for me. But if you see it otherwise, I can't judge you for that.
We're testing God at this point. Is this a test?
I'm not in the position to judge you, God. But if we're like grown-ups both, this would be the time. And I was fixing some electricity when I was 20, and I was like shaking because I held 2 wrong wires.
You got electrocuted.
And I couldn't like.
You can't let go because
you can't let go because it's just running
your
through
muscles
you.
Are,
I remember also that was an experience. I was like, God, I'm here again. I remember the guy in the ambulance. No,
ambulance guy over here.
You proved yourself last time. I remember that, and I forgot it, and now I'm very, very. Insecure if you want to save me again, but if you do,
it's like fool me once and the fool me twice.
So I like that's my first thought, and I hope it's something. But I also like if there is a God, why all this sadness in the world? The bad part being a human being. Why all this? Violence against children, all the diseases, all the things.
Yeah, the unspeakably horrible stuff that happens as we speak, and has been happening ever since someone picked up a rock from the ground.
Should be a really, really good cause to let all this happen without interacting.
Oh yeah.
I'm really curious. I hope there is a God, because then I can like find out what was the cause, all this pain. What was it good for? Why do you have to overcome all this pain?
What is it good for?
Yeah, that's
nothing.
The song. That's the theme song.
You're walking into like the pearly gates, like singing that song, and you're like, "Gee, man."
But I have also been thinking. Do you think it's a possibility that we live in hell? Because that makes sense.
Did you recall? There's this thing called Purgatory.
What's that? Tell me about it.
It was someone who sort of was like, it seems like there's a place between life and death where you sort of have to stand trial.
Okay.
And if you did horrible stuff, you have to spend a long time in purgatory. Or you can pay up front to the church. You can give them some money, and they would sort of say, "No, he's cool."
What a crappy gang!
Which is it's pretty interesting because there was the J man, the cross guy. Is pretty sort of, as far as I can tell, preoccupied with the notion that you can't pay your way into heaven.
No, I also heard
that's like the core thing. Actually, it's the other way around. It's like being generous.
But do people today believe in that kind of stuff? The purgatory, or what do you call it? No?
Because it's just me and you, and our guests, of course. Our audience.
Yeah, audience.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. You can just
got a bit annoyed now.
Yeah,
I'm
going to do something. But it is obviously an important question. Why on earth is it so much pain and suffering?
What is the cause?
What's the purpose of this?
My worst thought is that we are human beings. We like to think that we're not animals. We're not a product of this planet. We're inserted here by our God. So we're like we have so much self-esteem that we think that it must be a reason we're here and king of the world. We're
top
like
of the food chain.
But it might be just that it's just a it's just what it is. It's not a god. You're a part of the animal planet, and we won't accept that fact.
Oh.
It could be a fact that as well. I'm not trying to take anyone's religion away, because I think religion make people do good things as well. But
it's interesting, you would think that there would come this perfect solution where it would just make everything good. But bad things just keep on surfacing. And back to the thing, like, are we really in hell?
Yeah, I was thinking that it's not so fun to live my life in the world's richest country, drinking ass beer and enjoying my ass off every day, when I know it's a lot of suffering out there.
Yes.
So that's a kind of hell.
So there's hell in seeing other people suffer while you are not suffering.
Yeah.
So in order for you to feel good, all 8 billion people need to have a really good day.
Yeah. And like
The throne, that's some sort of party.
if you take a trip to Drammen sykehus or at any hospital in the world and you can see a 3-4-year-old child having cancer in the brain, tell me why
yeah, that doesn't,
this is good for the cause.
Seems sort of pointless,
Yeah,
right?
but this is you see, it's a god up there and you're on a trial. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not easy to, like, if you're a whole human being, to enjoy life when you know it's just for you.
But how do we improve the world? Do we then save all the people who are suffering?
I don't know. It's not possible with some kinds of diseases, some kinds of unluck. You get hit by a car. You know,
sometimes shit happens.
shit happens.
Yeah, it does.
I don't think it's possible. So therefore, I'm like, we might be already in hell, but we don't know it.
You know, I came to peace with this. Well, I guess there was like a parable where this what's it called, like a warlord.
Okay, yeah.
He wants to know. He's powerful, but he wants to know about heaven and hell.
Yeah.
And then he's told to go to this wise old man to seek answers to this great question: what is heaven? What is hell? And he comes to the wise man, and the wise man is sitting there, and he's asking, like, the wise man, I am a powerful warlord, please tell me about heaven and hell. And the wise old man just looks at him and he says, no. And the warlord becomes furious, and he probably has like a massive sword, you know, like a saber or something, and he's going to slay the wise old man. But the moment he sort of starts with the blade, the wise old man said, that is hell. And then the warlord becomes like overwhelmed. I was going to murder a guy because he didn't want to tell me the answer to some absurd question. And then he says, and that's heaven. And it's pretty nice and it's pretty neat because that's empathy. And like the other one is just othering.
Yeah.
Right?
You're
not giving me what I want. So you're putting me in a position where I want to be somewhere where I can get that information. Whereas the opposite is sort of like, I have exactly what I need. And I feel for you, other person in the room. I like that story. That's one.
This famous Norwegian stand-up guy that's not famous in the United States, it's Dag Sørås. And
Dag!
He have this material going on that, isn't it peculiar that when you're very religious, you probably believe in a God, and you believe that God is the real God. And all the other religions are wrong.
Yeah.
So they're like doing it wrong, they're going to hell. But all the other is like they're believing in things that's not real.
Yeah.
They're believing in things that would lead there all the way to hell. But I'm believing in the real God. Whew, thank God. And if you go to the next religion and the next, they will always say the same things. All the other gods are crap, but our God is the real one. And that's a big problem. They should like just unite the gods to one. That's my first step solution when I'm getting...
Well, I think what's fun about it is that literally puts them in hell.
Yeah, everyone.
No, the person saying, I am in the place that you are not.
Yeah.
Is missing what I would say is the purpose of heaven is, you know, when you walk down the street and you see people around you and you care about them regardless of color, creed or income, and you just see people, humans. But if you say, oh no, he's Muslim, so he's wrong, and he's Christian, and he's right,
yeah,
then you're differentiating, and you are effectively not in heaven.
I'm always a bit like skeptical to very religious people because they're like glimpsing into my eye, telling I have the Willy Wonka ticket to heaven. You haven't. And like
wouldn't you
they're
want that
better than
ticket, right?
me.
Yeah,
You
yeah, they're
can
better
have
than
that
you.
ticket as well, because I wanted to give that ticket to you as like I'm not a whole human being. Like I'm not nice to people. Like we could save you. You know, we have a secret that you don't have, and we could like be the gatekeepers of the god of the pearly gate for you. And I'm like, if you are the gatekeepers, I'm not signing in on that train. If you are the best people that God can send in his appearance in the world. So I don't think the religion, the way it is practiced in the world, and I mean all religion, is good for mankind. But it might be a god, but he's very passive, I must say.
Do you think, if you were to say to God now,
Yeah?
you want more action?
Yeah, that's easy. I say it every day. How come, God, if you're there, you were there for me every time I tried to electrify myself, I tried to drive myself to death, then you were there. But where are you now? There's other people that are dying here. Where are you now? So, if you see the statistics of almost accidents in the world every day, he's doing a probably good job, because it's a lot of almost died experiences every day. So he might. Do you think I have blown his capacity? That God is like trying to save us all, but it's like overload.
You have children, yes? Two. And you know, at one point in time, you have to let the children go out into the world and make mistakes and mess up. And like, worst case, they'll die. Actually, they will die.
Yeah.
Hopefully of old age.
Oh, I know where you're going now. Yeah. So you think you're God in your family, and you just...
No, but I like where you're going.
Yeah, because like, I'm kind of God, I'm not the interactional
I'm sort of a God over here.
And
that's why I have so many kids, you know.
So you can lose some of them in case. If they're like...
You're not all eggs in one basket, man. No, I'm joking. That was not my point at all.
Very sorry.
No, it's fun. I love it. But if there was a God, like you as a parent, would you want this God to control and look after you every friggin' second of your life, whether you're masturbating or...
Who can give me a hand? God, could you fetch me? Could you fetch me some mashed potatoes and find? I would start like misusing God very quickly. I mean, it would start with small things. God, the car keys. Do you know where it is?
Yes, this would escalate.
I'm in a hurry now. This would escalate.
This would get dark pretty fast.
Today I'm not feeling so good, but I'm sending God to work.
He's omnipotent, so he'll do a hell of a job, or I guess like a heavenly gig.
And after like 3 weeks, God, could you like fetch to me? God, have to fix the washing machine again. I'm so sick of you not mending the floors and doing the shit around my house.
Divorce God in the end, it seems, because he's just doing too much or not enough. Because we just want more. My point was just being that the gift of human existence at some level is that you can actually make all these choices, good or bad, and if God was controlling everything, you wouldn't be able to.
But if...
I don't know, because...
if you're not taking the whole... all the people in the world, and they could live like that, I'm agree with you. But the truth is that it's only for the few of us to live that kind of life. They can make good or bad choices. A lot of people are born in a place that they kill you if you don't... they put a gun in your hand when you're 6 years old, and you have to fight some of the good guys, bad guys, or... They put you in situations where you're very ill, or you're hit by a car. It's so many disasters out there in so many ways.
Yes.
That it's not up to you to make a good or a bad choice. It's already given.
Yes.
And that bothers me. Because if God said, okay guys, everyone is born with the same opportunities, of course. Then you can say, you made some bad choices, bad for you. You made some good choices, good for you. But it's not like that. It's just for the privilege, some of us, to...
Yeah, that we can actually have this conversation.
Yeah, to sit there and drink beer and like, oh, you know, people should behave better in the world. I said it to God. I told him so many times. I'm walking around. God, it's not a case. You didn't do anything, did you? I'm that guy. So I'm a bit pissed off of God, but every time I really need help, I'm like, God, I'm sorry, I told you all those.
Yeah, so he's bailed you out all
I
this
was
time.
very
Like,
critical. I was
angry at that time.
Yeah. I have been very critical. I can see that in the perspective now. But have a grown-up talk man to man with me now, God. Just us. Let's sit down and sort this out. So I think he's very passive. If he's like sitting there watching our globe.
No, this is obviously very interesting. It's like, how do you perceive this God? What would God look like if? How would you describe this God thing from your perspective? Because that seems very.
Often I think I see him as an old man with a long beard and white stuff, right? Because I learned that in the child. I went to Sunday school. I had to draw him a lot. It's like the first thought is like, okay, what did they have made me draw him like that for like 4 years every Sunday, so that's sticking to my. So I'm a bit disappointed if it's like a skater or a snowboard kind of guy, or if it's could be an old woman, like a bitchy old woman. With the thin glasses and like that.
She sounds strict, yeah.
Yeah, because if it's a bitchy old woman, then God is probably a bit angry of something that someone said for like 400 years ago.
Passive aggressive.
Yeah. Look what's happening when I'm not interfering, you know.
You told me you could do it on your own.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah. There you see.
So God is your mom.
Could be. But if it's like a force, something, some people like...
Bring the force. Yeah, the force.
And that often, that's the same people that also like fiction. Have you seen that? That people that think that, oh, God is a force. It's the same people that, have you seen The Lord of the Rings? It's like, it's people, but it's not people. They have like scales, but they're people. They also believe that it's a force up there, like this. It's just...
The ring, one ring to rule them all.
Yeah. So
I'm midway through the Lord of the Rings book I'm reading.
Then I think the force is a bit passive. You could do better. If this is the best and it's so much suffering, is it worth it? I don't know. Probably not.
When you die, would you go back again?
In my life now?
Yeah?
Yeah, easy. I said to my wife, if I get hit by a car and I die immediately, I would do anything to come back as a ghost and trick you.
Right.
And if that's possible, you know it's me. And I'm going to make like practical jokes on you.
But the fun ones.
Yeah.
Not the creepy ones.
Yeah. I'm not going to like freak them out.
Do some freak the fuck out stuff. You're bound to get bored at one point, you know.
That's a very evil thing to do. I'm going to freak you out. If you hate me now, you hate me even more when I'm dead. Because I'm going to come back and haunt you. It's not that kind of ghost, but a nice ghost. You come home, it's a fresh apple pie in the oven. ready for you.
That type of ghost.
That type of ghost. Bara,
Who made pie? What the fuck is going on?
Just
What the
Chris
fuck is
again.
going on?
But do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe it's possible to come back in as Jesus or and show yourself, or being a force in the room? Do you think that?
You know, I am a yes man.
Yeah,
And
you are.
I will not ever say, no, that's not possible. Because from my experience, that has just led me to a very limited belief about anything. And to the sheer fact that we are sort of inside of a reality, right? We're stuck in this time, linear space, which we are born and we die. And whatever happens outside of that, like whether you can become a ghost afterwards or whether you can be a flower or whatever, that's not sort of within this reality for us to say. And I sort of like that.
I read a book about physics. Like it's so thick,
thin.
yeah, and thin. And they say physics, the basics you need to know. So I was like, this is for me because I suck at physics. I think it's interesting, but I had to like learn, have a This is Physics for Dummies book, and I got migraine. You know, my head exploded.
Oh, just by that book.
In the third chapter, it was like, the room and the time is the same. Could you imagine that? That time and space is the same thing?
Well, it's hard to observe, right?
When you're living your life like from one date to another date, but they have proven that everything that happens at the same time.
Yes.
That everything that have happened and that everything that is going to happen is happening at the same time in the room, in the space we're living in.
Yes.
And it's impossible to like embrace that fact. We can prove it, but we can't understand it.
It's very hard to observe.
Yeah. So
from this perspective,
if you like put God into that perspective, then it's even more to complain about, because everything happens at the same time that have happened and are going to happen, and this actual second. So why doesn't he interfere in all the bad things that have happened and are going to have happen? Sorry, my language. I drink more and then it's getting better again.
Yeah, you were good in the beginning.
Yeah,
and you drank yourself into sort of like bad English, and then now I'm coming back in.
Give me a couple more, and then I'm talking like so English.
At 3 pints, you're like
I like to think that.
Mate.
Then I'm going to be Irish a while, and then I'm Scotch. Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? Which is really cool, is if everything can happen always within this sort of infinite reality that is infinite possibilities, that means that all the good things and all the bad things can happen and will always have happened and will always happen. So asking the question whether good or bad things will or will not happen is pointless, because they will.
Yeah,
and will not happen because it's part of the timelessness of this reality, which we can only see from this perspective.
Yeah. Correct.
But so asking this reality to only have the good stuff.
Yeah, that must be possible to like.
Well, that will make this whole reality implode into itself, because this experience is is an experience where you're experiencing both lack and more, and you're experiencing.
That's
right?
just your opinion. That
of course.
It's like have to be a balance. You can't have the good things if you take away the bad. Well, my impression is that it's possible
to have just good things.
Yeah, of course. That's my religion. It's completely
I like it.
understandable, because it's not like it's it's got just good things, now it's tipping. Have you ever experienced that? But if you just have bad things, then the human mankind won't live anymore, because if they drop all the atomic bombs and we're not taking care of each other, and then we probably if you just have bad things. So I'm more of the, my concern is that it's not like this bottle, that this is all the happiness and joy and luck there is, and if you get happiness and luck, then it's
none for you.
It's less happiness and luck for me. That's not true. It's the other way around. If other people around you are happy and lucky and healthy, that fact that they are in that situation, all that we can see from science is that the possibility of you have the same situation is higher. If all the people around you are sad, unhappy and unhealthy,
it's going to drag you down.
You're not able to succeed at the same level.
Yeah.
So good things are good for mankind and everyone. Bad things hits us all. And therefore I'm always skeptical to the politicians that trying to make the society diverse, that you have like low life people, high maintenance people, that then they're trying to like say, oh, those people are not good. Those are the good people. Well, every people have good and bad sides, and we have options, but we are also born into situations. And I'm not so fond of like, oh, this is all the happiness there is in the world, we have to keep it for ourselves. But the truth is that if it's like peace in the Middle East, that's good news for the whole world. It's not like, oh shit, it's peace in Gaza now, then it's probably going to explode some other place because it has to be a lot of bad things happens. You know that. It's like a queue of bad things that's rising up. It's not a big... it's not like that if you experience a lot of luck in your life, it's not most likely then it's something bad going to happen to you because you had so much luck.
You spent it all.
Been spending your luck. And then the old grandmother God is coming down. I've been spending luck.
You're out of luck.
So it's not a bottle. It's not a can of luck. But if you share it, you probably will... Your experience probably will be that other people are sharing back with you.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
But this is true.
Yeah. And if
but why aren't we?
We are, aren't we? I'm pretty satisfied with my sharing. Aren't you?
Yeah,
you're sharing every day.
Making this friggin' show just to share.
But now we've been doing this for a year. Almost. What's the status of the show? What have it done to you?
Well,
doing this.
It's a good question, man. Are you the host now?
No, I'm just curious.
I'm joking. That's why I invited you, because you are my reoccurring character.
Yeah.
No, starting out, I was like, where is this going? And as you know, which is fun, by the way, that this whole thing is through a dream where God came to me and said, be a talk show host.
He had time to that?
Well, he's
just been discussing all the children and all the stuff?
Yeah, I told him, but he was like,
this is important.
This is important. And I was like, well,
I need a show.
If you say so.
Because it's not show. I've been zapping around. It's not enough talk shows. They're downtrending.
Want a different type of talk show? It seems I fit the profile.
Yeah.
And it's a great learning experience.
It is.
Because I was doing something. I had a profession. I was very professional about that profession, but also I was ready for something else. We've talked about this. And doing this show, creating this space where we can talk about whatever and actually sort of go there. I really like that. And I love sharing it. And obviously there are frustrations as to why aren't people enjoying this as much as I am? But, I mean, who am I to judge other people? Let them have their journey, and if they feel this resonates with them, that's great. If not, that's also okay. And obviously the challenge is that there is this thing called Monopoly, where you're playing a game where you have to buy stuff and you like get money from this end and you exchange that for items on the other side, and sort of maneuvering this quest into that space is challenging, but also very rewarding. Because I'm doing something that's not easy. This isn't the easy option.
Absolutely not. This is not the easy option, Ulf. You should have it on a poster or a shirt or something. It's a good quote.
But it's the thing that brings me joy, and it's also the thing that makes me feel alive, and also it's the thing that makes me feel like I'm giving something back that's actually something, not just
light
filler.
entertainment. Yeah. My impression of you when you started it was like one day you showed up in this suit and suddenly you had a mustache and now you have long hair.
A lot of hair.
Yeah, and it was like that you wear the costume in the start, because I know you without
this
the
is
suit.
Not how I dress normally.
Yeah. But now, following you this year, now this is the Ulf that I think of that sits here, and it's not a costume anymore. And that's very fun to see that as a human being you can change your character if you want.
Yeah.
And after a while, not like the first or second week, but after a while, people accept you as the new version of you without thinking of it.
You can change yourself.
Yeah. And that's true, very cool to say, to see and experience you now after a year. So I'm excited to see you like in another year. What is going to happen to this guy? You might be sitting here, but then you still, then you probably have grown even more into the role. Here. Yeah, starting to look like more and more like God.
Or Gollum.
Because you're always
just
crumbling
sitting here in the dark.
Because you were so tall, you had to crumble. Yeah, I had this friend of mine. Let's not mention names, but we were at the party and we were like 20 years ago, and he decided to take a lot of pills. So much pills, and he didn't know what it was, but it probably would kill him. And so it was the end of a long day of drinking and boozing.
That sounds pretty intense, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was the last one that like got off bed again because I had to throw up. Went into the bathroom, and there he was, lying without breathing on the bathroom floor. So I was like, fuck, what to do? I called the ambulance, and we were up in the mountains, so they hadn't...
It's quite a drive.
They could like 2 hours. So
yeah,
they were like,
you had to...
Yeah, they were on the phone like, you have to manage this by yourself. I'm complete drunk. We don't care. This is what they have to do. And I did everything that they told me. And they said this ambulance on its way, but since it takes 2 hours, we have a doctor that lives nearby. If he grabs the phone, you can go down to him. Or he can come up to you.
Doctor.
Yeah, the village doctor. Oh. And he was, thank God, again, then you appeared because the doctor grabbed the phone, he came up to the cabin and took me down to the village doctor's office. And that was like a Russian office, if that gives meaning to you, you know, office with very, very few items. You were like, open the door.
Minimalistic.
We carried him in, and I was like, okay, it's not much like devices here.
Nothing to heal a human with.
But he had a device that you can put in his throat, and you can switch it on, and then it started pumping everything that he had in his stomach. Yeah, old style stomach pump. And we had to like use a lot of lube, and he was giant guy. So I was still drunk, and he gave me a doctor's habit.
He somewhat looks like Gandalf. That's how I picture it.
Yeah, that's
and you are
pretty much
a hobbit in this picture.
I got this doctor's habit, you know, the white long shirt and a hat, because it might be a bit messy. So take it on. Hair. And I was like, could I fetch also no, you can't take the other doctor's things, just this. And we had, you know, like in a dentist office, you have these bright lights.
Yes, you can see during
surgery. So they loved putting that on him, and we were like stuffing this stomach tube into him, and he was like, oh, this is not comfort for me.
I guess getting a tube pushed down our throats, that's not actually like
But ideal. He was almost dead, so it was like, it was easy.
Objecting a lot.
Yeah. But then when we started it all the things that he ate that day came up through the wire, and we could see it. It's like sausage, pill, 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 bear, pill, 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 pill. So okay, this is actually working. And he was starting to shaking and come to life. I was too drunk to like think that this is serious. I was more like, we made it. I was already celebrating.
Yeah, like a flag cheering.
Yeah, keep on going. You can. I was trying to cheer him up. But here is my point. My friend thought that he had been succeeding in taking his life that evening, taking all those pills. And he saw his life in flashing before his eyes, left the building. And the next thing he is like experiencing is a very, very light, everything was very white, and he tried to see. And then he's like glimpsing with that, and he sees my face. He's of course in the doctor's village office, but he thinks he's in heaven.
Seeing Kristoffer.
So he started to laugh, and we take the lube out, and he started like, Chris, are you God? And he thought that I was God, that he was in heaven. And I was like, sort of, but I have to disappoint you, because we're still here stuck in Gol, little village in Norway.
Still on planet Earth. Right?
I'm sort of God, but and this is sort of heaven, but it's a hatch.
There's a small catch to this God deal.
But a little split second there, he actually believed that he went to heaven, that I welcomed him there, and he named his son after me. And now he's never trying to escape this life again. He's very happy now. So that proves that when we're dying, we don't know, so we will accept everything, won't we?
We will.
As a fact.
Yes.
Because everything could be reality for us.
Yes.
So we're meat puppets.
We are, in its purest form, meat puppets.
Yeah.
This is true.
But since we're...
do you have a soul?
A soul?
A soul.
I don't know.
Right?
I don't know. Do you think you have a soul?
Well, I was sure I didn't. Turns out I do.
Oh. How did you find it?
Well, I was insisting so much I didn't have one that it sort of...
came to you?
Well, I guess revealed itself.
Wow.
With the proper term. And it's, obviously, when you sort of realize you have a soul, at least from my perspective, because I was so sure I didn't.
Was it disappointing? To like, oh fuck, here's the soul.
Well, I guess there was like
possible.
There was like the irony of being sort of like, there is no soul. Are you insane? Like, there is no God, well, nothing of this makes sense. And then you're standing sort of like face to face with something, and you're like, oh fuck,
It's the soul there. It's in my hand.
there is something here which I was sure there was nothing.
Did you use any medicaments? I just have to ask on the audience behalf. Did you were you drunk, or were you like hallucinating?
Well, that depends on which time we're talking about. Once I was drowning.
Oh, that's interesting. So it was like your near-death experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I wasn't asking God for help.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
I'm always asking for help when I'm almost dying. Why didn't you ask for help?
But I was sure there was no God, so you couldn't ask God for help.
Yeah, but there is like
any sense.
It's cheap to ask if you don't believe in God. It's still like if you're there.
Yeah, but that was the ultimate test.
Yeah, it is.
For me,
Yeah.
you know,
You did
because
not
there is no God.
I'm going to
so
die
I'm
here.
drowning. Okay, I'm drowning. This is it.
Yeah. My soul, I don't have a soul. So,
But well, here's the thing. So I thought I was drowning. Turns out I wasn't. I was shit-faced drunk, and I had been swimming to prove some sort of absurd point. It was way too cold.
Wow.
And I had to turn around and swim back. And I came to the dock, and I was so fatigued and cold that I was unable to pull myself
Wow.
up. So I was hanging there, and I was like, well, this is how I die, because I can't get up.
thank God you were so tall, because if you had my height,
hit the ground.
the
You would
water
drown.
would like drown you
would actually have drowned.
immediately.
This is correct.
It saved your life.
My height saved
your height.
my life.
Yeah, probably did.
Well, not probably. It surely did.
Yeah.
Because the tide was getting lower, so I could stand.
Is it true?
It's true. It's
The tide saved you?
No, my height and the tide.
Wow. Were you standing there to the like?
No,
tide?
you know. So you're.
How many hours were you?
No, it's not that long of a time, but it was long enough, right? You're hanging there like this is it, and then I was like, I'm not getting up. But then, as I sort of gave up, I felt ground.
Is it true?
And then also, oh fuck, I'm not drowning. And then I came
I'm
up,
tall.
and I was furious
Why?
because this is it. All the people I knew were living their lives as if the important stuff was like a career and a car and a house and things, and I was like, that makes no sense.
And that's true.
So the picture is Ulf naked on a dock with his father, and I'm furious at my father for selling me this idea that this is what life is all about. I had a horrible hangover the day after.
Of course.
Needless to say.
But you were also talking about the soul. You like felt after that you had a soul, and not before.
It came a bit after that, but the point was that when I was yelling this, and it sort of makes sense, but at the same time it's nonsensible, I guess, from maybe your perspective, but I was screaming out into the void, which is creation. Like, what the fuck is this? Why am I here? What's going on?
Yeah.
And the answer sort of came.
Inside you?
Yeah. But like over a period of time, like after that. But it was over a period of many years.
Okay.
Where I was sort of like pushing harder against my soul or the divine or whatever you want to call
force.
it. Well, I would love to call it the Force. And if I can call myself a Jedi, I would any day, because I come from fear, and that's what this is all about.
Why I'm skeptical to all the sci-fi people. They're always like, they're telling you something, and the next thing is, like, just in Star Wars, say, and then all those references to some crap comes up, in my opinion, because here you are talking about something with depth in it, and it makes sense that you experience that, and that's the next time, look at my father, and then I drop. Every time, like, it's starting to be just sci-fi. I'm off. I don't know. But have you experienced that a lot with people you talk to, like me, that we just kind of drop off at the point?
Yeah, when I get a bit wired up, at some point people will say like, "You lost me. I have no idea what you're talking about," and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine. I lose people all the time in my...
But that's the whole, at least for me, I feel like, the joy of life is figuring out what you want to make out of it without listening to everyone else.
Yeah.
And not to the point like going around stabbing people with a knife because you don't want to listen to what they're saying, but sort of listening into like what do you want to do? What do you want to make out of it? And what's important to you? If a career and a car is not important to you, would you dare to follow this other ideal? Or are you just going to go like, oh, it seems like everyone is going this way, so I'm just going to follow? Or do you actually dare to like find your own path?
I don't think it's possible to find your own path on everything. I think people are like on default mode on like 9 out of 10 things. Yeah. So you choose the one thing that this thing is giving me joy. So I choose that one. That is my way of giving myself joy. And the 9 other things, I just do whatever other people do because it seems to work for them. Because you can't find your own path in like everything you do. It's a very exhausting project.
Yeah, that does sound exhausting.
Yeah, so we have different things that gives us joy. Some play football, some play FIFA on the computer, some collect stamps, I drink, we do different things. Asbeer. So I don't give a damn about certain things that are very important to you. So in your opinion, you can like watch people and all the people are wearing the same clothes, driving the same cars. But it's because they're in default mode on that things. And they might have other things that gives them value where they go out of the path. And that's the really hard thing being a parent, because my day is like really full of things that's going to happen. I can't like fight them. I can't fight like 10 battles at the same time. I can't like make my children go to other school and have make organic food and sew my own
or make your own hemp clothing.
You can't do everything. So people are like, oh, the neighbor of that car is signed. I think it works for him with that car and that kind of life. I just do like him by default. It's not a choice. It's just your brain is like, I saw that. I do it. I do this, and that's how we roll. And when you are moving to the United States, you can see entire states doing that. And they're all going in the wrong way. That's my opinion. Like, some people are like, now, in some states in the United States, the teacher can hit the children with a flat hand, and that's all right.
Yeah, that's not going in the right direction, is it? Violence never solves anything, that's true.
So it's like, if enough people go in the wrong direction because they think it works for them, so it probably works for me, you have a bad society.
Yeah.
So what are we doing today that are completely wrong in our lives? That's the big question that the Norwegian society should ask ourselves. What kinds of things would we regret in 100 years? I asked my grandfather that.
Those are good questions.
I asked my grandfather that before he died. Do you regret anything? And he said that, well, the first child I had was right after the war in Norway, like in 1952, and at that time it was common to hit the children if they didn't behave properly. So I did that because everyone else told me
Yeah, you
so.
punish them. To
Yeah,
make
you
them
should do that.
Proper humans, yes.
And I regret it. It scarred him for life. So I'm very glad he told me that, because then I can use it in my life.
Then you know that doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. So, but what do we do now? That if I'm so lucky that I get
to be a really
get to be a real
human.
old man, yeah, and can like pay something forward. What would it be, Ulf? Environment, or I don't know.
No, it's important questions, and I think it's questions that we don't dare answer honestly. Because typically you'd say like, oh, I want to leave this planet and know that my children are well taken care of and that they have good opportunities for their lives. But what does that really mean?
What do you think you are going to regret?
I know for sure that I would regret not daring to pursue my dreams. Because when I sort of look at how people live their lives, they typically say like dreams are for suckers, and if you want to do something, you need to do the thing that sort of people want you to do, and that's how you get somewhere in life. And then that's what you tell your children, and that's what they tell their children, and you have this chain of events where people keep on doing something that someone else wants them to do. And for me, it has become quite important to sort of break that cycle, that merry-go-round idea that your career is what defines you, and that to be happy is to be safe, and to be safe is to be well off financially. Because in the world that we are living in the Western Hemisphere, that's sort of like the general idea, right? You need to have a secure foundation, and that means money.
But in the end of the day, everyone needs money. It's like a fact.
Yeah, it is.
Well. So
it is. And then, but it's then sort of playing into that, but at the same time being aware of that. Well, if I was the richest man in the world, I could still be miserable.
Probably.
Also, if I'm the poorest man in the world, I can also be happy.
Absolutely.
And sort of daring to walk past that point, because I had a job, it paid really well, I was good at it, but it wasn't for me anymore.
But don't you think that it's a lot of ask you for any employer in the world that I need a job that fills my life with purpose?
Yeah.
It's possible like to do like me. I do a job in daytime. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's bad.
But I guess all jobs are like that, right?
Some jobs are like that. But in my spare time, I try to fill my life with exciting things. Being here, going into the forest with my children, making puppets, and doing a lot of things, playing guitar, blah, blah, blah. I don't like, since I'm also hiring people to do things, I always tell them, we're not going to solve your big life issues with this job. We just ask you to come a couple of hours every day doing this. If it don't suit you, don't do it. If you want to do it, we want to work with you. But it won't like solve your life. You have to solve your life yourself. And money, it's a part of it, but it doesn't need to be a giant part of it.
No.
In Norway, you can like have a normal job and then you're off. With the bills. In the United States, it's
a bit rougher over there.
Another story.
Yeah, it's a different story.
But I have no song for you today, Ulf. So I have a suggestion that we might play together afterwards. Is that all right?
I love that.
Yeah, we have never done that before.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
How are we on time, by the way? I have no idea. Oh shit, we've really been going at it.
How? I don't know. I don't want to know it.
It's later than it was when we started.
If we have any viewers, I'm very satisfied.
We're here, and we have our audience.
We have two. Yeah, that's true.
One's asleep, the other one's like looking at the clock.
Yeah.
When is this ever gonna end? We're gonna like ease out of this with something which I really like to talk about, and which has sort of come up a lot lately. Is like, do you prepare or do you just improvise? And we're gonna go to my dreamers.
Yeah, that's
because I was so curious as to what my fellow dreamers thought about when you're going to do something, perform something. Do you prepare or do you just improvise? You've been asked to hold a presentation or a speech. Do you prepare or do you just improvise?
I prepare. I enjoy to be prepared.
I would definitely prepare.
I prepare, but I improvise usually.
So you try to do like best of both worlds.
Yeah, I improvise. I personally like to improvise because if the speech doesn't come from the heart, then it's not really that meaningful.
I always prepare, but then again I always go out of what I did prepare. So I have a plan, but I never get to stick with it.
In my situation, I'm not like very good at giving speeches, so I would like to have something in hand other than just like going improvising all at once.
I think for the audience, it's more better than you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, not just sort of making stuff up as you go.
No, not often I've done that. Maybe in speeches for birthday parties.
Yeah.
Just
in a more
wing
relaxed environment.
Yeah.
Then you just wing it. Yeah.
Do you improvise?
I come prepared. You know,
Everything is on that little...
we've been going at it for over an hour, and all we needed was like some words on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
No problem. Well, I liked, and what I wanted to say was like, I am completely oblivious to time, and I love just going like into it and sort of uncovering what happens there, and not sort of preparing too much, but having like an intention about what to explore. But then I've noticed that people are talking about, but then things seem to become a bit like unstructured.
Yeah, of course.
Right now I was like sort of like when I talk to the dreamers, and also like maybe there's something to that. Maybe there's about time that I get some more structure into my improvised life. I don't know.
I think you're right.
Balance, right? That's the word I was looking for.
Good, bad,
To the force, man.
To the force,
Come on,
man.
Come on, get on the sci-fi train. Come on.
2 more beers and I'm on the sci-fi train.
We're gonna watch Star Wars afterwards. Now it's gonna be great.
I'm ready.
I am your father. Well, I guess we sort of.
I feel that we're through. I have no more to say.
No, that's
I'm
perfect.
like in my brain is empty.
But you said so many great and good things. You're a very awesome and great human being.
You do. This project is on the best peak right now. If it downtrends, that's all right for everyone. But if it uptrends, this is still the best part. When you're sitting here doing this in this environment, this is the best part.
It is the best part.
And
it's happening right now.
I'm honored to be a guest of your show every time.
Bro, it's so lovely to have you here. You know, because you've been a guest before, that I like to end the show with finding a quote on the internet that I find is appropriate to tonight's episode.
Okay.
So I searched the internet far and wide on this iPad. It's like a thing that's connected to the internet, and you can search and find things. I'm not going to explain this technology to you. You probably know about it. Sorry.
Kind of.
So I've now used a search engine, and I've found a quote that I think works well with tonight's episode and what we've talked about. And I was wondering, could you read this quote?
Of course.
You can be so kind as to read it into that camera over there. That'd be great.
If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change.
Yeah.
It's true.
It is true.
Yeah. But it's a but. I can't you see he forgot, the man who wrote these lyrics forgot to like add a sentence, and that is never going to be entire good. It's a lot of bad things that are going to happen either way if you choose to be a better self. But that's not your fault. That should be the next lines.
You're trying to expand on the quote?
Yeah, I'm not
You're
trying,
making it a
I
Chris
just
quote.
did it.
Yeah, you just
I
did.
just did
it
it.
just happened.
That's free of charge, man.
I should write it down, but I don't
Yeah.
have to because it's recorded and put out on the
Yeah,
internet.
it's already
forever.
there.
It's,
That's a fact.
it's out there. Wow.
You should have that in the song. A lot
Yes,
of
because it's from a
if
song.
it not work for you, and you know that God is there and He's trying to fix it, but can't fix everything. It's a lot
Yeah.
of bad things happening. Anyway,
Is this a song God should maybe put
consider
to heart?
to give out on the Spotify. I would.
It's gone.
I would definitely follow God if he like choose Spotify as the channel to talk to the earth with like giving out songs. I would follow it straight away.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. Just a tip, God.
But I guess it works in mysterious ways, so it's sort of like a
Yeah.
tricky thing to get him to sort of play the way you want him to. Okay, so I guess this is the end of this episode.
If he puts out the reggae music, then I'm off. If God
So it's
like
science,
choose reggae,
science fiction reggae. That's like that's gonna like really
then
take
this
you all your-
is hell. Then it's definitely hell.
Hell is
that
God
God
playing
sends you
reggae
some
in a
reggae
spaceship?
stuff to like. I know it's crap down there, guys, but I put out this reggae music for I jammed yesterday, and I like it was hilarious. You really need to hear it. But
Yeah, we're gonna play a song.
You
We're
have the
gonna-
guitar.
I'm
Well,
gonna end this by first of all saying thank you so much for being a guest on the show, and I look forward to having you back in the not too distant future. And from the bottom of my heart, which is bottomless, by the way, I love you, man.
I love you too, man.
Thank you. And to my wonderful audience, I love you guys. Thank you so much. They still got it in them. They're not falling asleep yet. Markus, I love you, man. Thank you so much for
doing a
sticking
great
around
job.
and doing a wonderful job. And to my audience, thank you. I love you guys. And patrons love you too. Because money does make the world go round. Even though love is a stronger force.
You
Don't
said
stop
it.
now. I said it.
You
I
said it.
Okay. And then we shall end with a song.
I tried to just follow you
What?
on this one.
But originally I was gonna do the Peace Train,
Yep,
but then I need to cheat.
of course.
The Cheat Train. Is it Cat Stevens? That's his name, right? Maybe we should tune our guitars. That's gonna add more viewers, I'm pretty sure of it. Like even the audience is like, can we go now, please? Now you start with like a small concert.
Just play and I'll just follow you.
Do you think my guitar is in tune? Does it sound okay?
Good to go.
I was gonna play the song Peace Train because I heard that song and I was like, that's a good song. Oh, sorry, there's an ad. Didn't pay for the app. Just wait 5 seconds. Don't worry
I
about
love
it.
this. I
T1
love
Markus, do you think that's something I should go for? It's Bitcoin, it's growing.
Go for it.
I'm just
Be the
gonna
yes man.
subscribe. Give me. Do you have your Visa card, by the way? So I think it's like it's a lot of C's and G's and F's.
Okay.
The F is hard. Why is the F so hard? You have the ukulele. I guess that's easier. Okay. And obviously tune in next week for another episode of the Wake Up Show. Yeah, you don't want to miss that. It's going to be even greater than this one. That's impossible. This was so great. Can't top this. Should end the season right now. No, we're not going to do that. Now I've been happy lately, thinking about the good things to come. Sorry, I'm trying to find my bearing here. And I believe it could be something has begun. Oh, I've been smiling lately, dreaming about the world as one. And I believe it could be. We're not really working together.
Just trying to, like, I never heard this before.
Is he leaving?
Take another ass beer. I probably know it if I get 10 more.
But I rehearsed earlier today, but it became so late. I don't know what happened.
Try without me and see if it like fits your soul and voice.
No, but we can play something else. A song I know.
Yeah, take the song that your
Will
soul
he come back
plays
again?
For. Yeah, it's back again.
We're gonna do "I Believe in the Angels" by ABBA.
Okay.
Because I know that one, so that'll work. I have a dream, a song to sing. It helps me cope with everything. If you see the wonder of a fairy tale, you can take the future even if you fail. I believe in angels, something good in everything I see. I believe in angels, and I know the time is right for me. I cross the stream, I have a dream. I have a dream, a fantasy. It helps me through reality. And my destination makes it worth the while, pushing through the darkness. Still another mile. I believe in angels, something good in everything I see. I believe in angels, and I know the time is right for me. I cross the stream. I have